So Jussie Smollet, in a couple of weeks, is going to get sentenced, and I guess could potentially be sentenced to 20 years in prison. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think that's kind of steep. I mean, I know that what he did was bad, but 20 years, I'm not saying that he's going to get 20 years. I doubt that he will even come close to that, but what if he got 10 years? 5 years? I know there's some people, the comments couldn't vary here. There's people out there that thinks that 1 year is plenty. 1 year might be too much. Some people will say 5 years. Some people will say life in prison. I know, you know, it's going to vary on what people think. I know people are irritated with it. I'm super irritated with it, but even if he gets 10 years in prison, I think that's way too hefty of a price to pay for doing that. I mean, technically he didn't hurt anybody. I'm not sticking up for him, don't get me wrong, and I can't stand the guy, but I think he better at least get a year, a full year. Not get a year and then get out in 3 months. But what pisses me off just as much as him lying about this hoax was him lying about it all the way through the trial and perjuring himself. So he obviously hasn't learned a single thing. So, you know, I say give him at least 5 years. That's what I'm thinking. So Smollett could get up to 20 years in prison. 20 years.
Yeah, he won't serve a day probably.
So once he does get sentenced, what do you think would be justice?
20 years.
20 years? You think he should get the full 20?
Oh, yes.
And serve every second of it?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then lifelong probation, everything.
Yeah, okay. Stick it to him.
Oh, yes.
100%.
He deserves it.
Yeah. I'm with you. I was saying 5 years, but you know what? He's so pathetic. I'm almost feeling sorry for him, but I'm shaking that off.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
No, I have nothing for him.
No.
Absolutely nothing.
Now, all he was doing is contributing to more hate mongering. You know what I mean? So, plus it'd be a lesson to everybody else. Don't try this crap.
True victims, you know.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Even the black community is upset with Jussie Smollett right now because they know he staged this thing to try to start a race war.
Yeah. I don't know if he tried. Well, he didn't try to start a race war. He tried to get public sympathy.
He wanted to push that narrative.
Well, and then in return, he was hoping to make more money on that show and become a more famous actor.
Yeah, get his
But it
name
backfired,
out
and he
there.
ruined his career. And then he gets to go to jail and look like an idiot. So, hey, man. Jussie Smollett was found guilty on 5 of 6 crimes, and if he gets sentenced in 2 weeks to the full extent of the law, he's going to spend 20 years in prison. Did you know that?
I don't advocate hate crimes or anything like that. There's no reason for it. But however, today there's so much hate crimes that are invented that don't really happening. They're just trying to stoke it up. Democrats are employing Saul Alinsky tactics, rules for radicals, and they're staging fake hate crimes. That's what they're doing.
So he's already been. Fuck Trump, says the guy in the BMW or whatever it was, Mercedes. Rich white liberals. It's a mental disorder. Anyways, he could serve 20 years. Don't you think that's too much?
He should serve 50 years.
Okay.
There's a reason for it. It's getting weird.
So, Mike, what do you think? Jussie Smollett is going to be convicted, or the sentencing will be in a couple weeks. He could, if they inflict the maximum punishment on him, he'll be in prison for 20 years. Yo, well, 20 years. Don't you think? You think that's a little harsh?
I think that he's not even going to do a day in prison. I mean, if you think about it, it's been 3 years since he was charged.
Yeah.
He paid for a defense attorney when he knows that it's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
The brothers who he hired to do it, those 2 big black Nigerians, they testified against him. All the evidence was against him. He maintained his life. He lied under oath, right? And it's just now coming to a prosecution where he's found guilty. In my opinion, he won't do a day in jail. I'll put it this way. He'll do about as much time in prison as Alec Baldwin and Hillary Clinton and all the other elites of this two-tier justice.
What do you think should be his punishment? How much time? Like if it was up to you.
I can't really put a number on it. Honestly, like
what if he got 10?
I would say maximum penalty because
you think he should be 20 years inside prison?
Well, if you think about the resources that went towards that were, you know, wrapped up in his lie,
millions,
his little stunt, and how many people could have lost their lives during the time when they were investigating this stupid crime?
Because all the resources were wrapped up in him.
Right. And then he lied under oath, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
I think just the lying under oath part is something totally separate.
Yeah.
And you should definitely add time because of that.
Yeah, and then Don Lemon was involved too. So, I mean,
arrest Don Lemon too.
People forget about the fact that the Soros-backed prosecutor, Kim Fox, is the one who dropped his initial charges.
Yeah.
Because Michelle Obama. So they're all connected. They're all tied. Kamala Harris had her stupid anti-lynching bill ready to go. This whole thing was staged.
Isn't lynching illegal, and wouldn't that get you life in prison anyways?
Just like murder is already illegal.
Yeah.
Lynching is illegal already.
See what they're doing is setting this all up so they have an excuse to burn, loot, murder.
Yeah.
If he gets a tough sentence, we're going to be out in the streets. He's going to get 3 months probation.
What would be justice to you? How much time would Smollett have to be sentenced to and serve in prison for you to feel like it was justice?
I believe the max is 5 years.
20 years.
No, you don't want to hit him hard. Give him 5-10 years, and then he's got to pay back all the city of Chicago costs for all this bullshit. Court costs, police investigative. That'll break him.
Yeah.
But of course, you got the freaking liberals out there. He's been oppressed. He did this. He's just standing up for a reason. I mean,
and what about the people who may actually still be experiencing hate crimes out there? Now it's like the boy who cried wolf. Don't they teach you that in school? Now, because of his lie, because of all these hate crime hoaxes, if there's someone who actually gets abused, nobody will believe them.
There's been a lot of fake hate crimes.
They lie about the statistics. They say reported hate crimes are on the rise. Yes, that's true, reported hate crimes, but how many hate crimes after being investigated are actually real?
Both ways with that.
They lie.
They hate crime against Chinese.
They must lie.
Whites, blacks, everybody gets a hate crime.
Right, that stopped Asian hate, BS. That ended quick. As soon as you Google Asian hate crime suspects and click images, you see it's all black dudes. Are like, oh wait, that doesn't work because we can't frame white people.
It doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah.
Why can't we just be honest? It's mostly black dudes committing crime.
They come out with a big lie, and the truth slowly seeps out for everybody to see it.
I'll get called some crazy names for saying what everybody knows is true, but some people don't want to admit that it's true. When you think of a dangerous neighborhood, you think of places like Philly, Chicago, places over there.
It's like that dickhead you had here.
Nobody ever says, I don't want to go through that hood neighborhood where it's all white people.
Right. But not all. But
what
see,
about the professor you had here 2 weeks?
So Jussie Smollet will be sentenced in a couple of weeks. He could get, I know nobody believes it, but if they go full throttle on him and he gets the maximum, he'll be in prison for 20 years.
He should be.
You think he should be there for 20 years?
He should be.
Right.
You know? We've got enough division going on in this country for someone to deliberately start something like that, especially with Trump supporters. And people like that are the cause of the division right now. You know? He deserves what he gets.
Throw the book at him?
Yeah, I would throw the book at him. He deserves everything he gets.
What do you think, Mitch? Should Jussie Smollett serve 20 years in prison for what he did?
At least.
You think?
Think of all the people he took off the streets to settle this stupidness, and he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
You know, and all the communists behind him that thought it was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, every lefty came out of the woodwork to defend him.
Yeah. And they all knew better.
So apparently the only people still defending him is Black Lives Matter organization.
Well, you can look at what Lennon did on TV, you know, and you can just see by the way he was talking, and especially after he knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
You think he should get 20 years, full 20 years?
No.
What do you think would be justice? 10 years, 5 years?
Well, justice would probably be 30 or 40.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be justice, but who knows what they do? You don't even know anymore. It's just like Alec Baldwin, after what he did, he was hosting a gala last night.
Yeah.
You know.
That's another guy who's lying about what happened. And then
I'm holding the gun shoots, it
and,
goes off, and
if,
I say I didn't pull the trigger.
Right,
Wasn't
and
me.
if it goes to trial, he'll stick to his lies.
Yeah.
If you stick to your lies and you don't come clean and everybody knows you're lying, they can prove it, then that should double your time. Was that guy triggered?
Yeah.
Going by, giving us the finger?
Saying things that
So,
we suck.
hey, he said we suck.
Yeah.
Hey, they can call us names all day long. We don't care.
I don't care.
We think it's funny. So, Jussie Smollet could face up to 20 years in prison. He'd get sentenced in a couple weeks. How much time do you think would be fair?
Well, 20 sounds good to me.
20 does?
Sure.
They can do 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he tried to start a hate crime.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, against white people.
Yeah. But you know what's funny to me is the Democrats force this fake racism crap down our throats every day, and
every day.
They're not held responsible.
I know.
Ever.
Why is that?
I don't know. Half the country has tiny brains. They believe it, I guess.
They don't even have brains.
They don't even have brains. Good point.
Got nothing.
Hey, you guys should follow Twisted Luck Truth on YouTube. He's got a badass channel. He's an ex-police officer and knows his stuff. So let me ask you something.
Yep.
Jussie Smollett is getting sentenced in a couple weeks, and he could face 20 years in prison.
He should.
You think he should?
He absolutely should. Yeah, he thinks he can get away with it because the media gets away with it, right? And he's playing into that, and he's trying to play. He should be sentenced to something.
So 20 years is justice?
You know, should it be 20 years?
I'm leaning like, I'm saying like 20 years is harsh.
It is harsh, right? So,
I mean, I know what he did was horrible, but that's harsh. 20 years.
He should something should definitely happen. The thing
I'll be upset if he doesn't do at least a year to 5 years, maybe.
I think the thing.
I mean,
for me, the thing is he's sticking with it. He's still sticking with it. He's not saying, "Hey, sorry about that."
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
sticking with it.
You got a point there, yeah.
So that makes it, to me, that makes it worse.
If the judge says, "Hey, you're gonna do 20 because you didn't admit to it, and we have all the proof in the world that you did it, and you're still a liar,"
yeah. Or maybe give him another opportunity. Come on. I think I would finally, at that point, he's sticking to his guns.
Up. There's something about fessing up, admitting you're wrong, apologizing. That means a lot.
People respect that.
They respect that.
Yeah,
well, they're not going to respect him no matter what he does, but that's what people want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what people want to hear.
Yeah.
And no matter what you think of him, anybody would have a certain level of respect.
Yeah.
If he just comes out and says, "Hey, I screwed up. I thought I could do this for this reason.
Right.
And I'm sorry."
Yeah.
You don't have to like him anymore, but I would have a bit of respect for him.
I know a lot of people are going to be irritated if nothing happens to him at all.
Yeah. I think he'd get a little leniency too if he just comes clean. Yeah. Instead of just sticking to a story. I mean, he's essentially, watching video of him committing the crime while he's saying that wasn't me, or, I didn't do that. Essentially, it's not him.
The prosecutor said he went after him extra hard because he wouldn't fess up to it.
Yeah, I could see that. When there's so much evidence and you just keep denying it and denying it, now you're essentially just saying the people are stupid, the judge is stupid, the jury is stupid.
I think people they're irritated that he did this fake hate crime, but they're just as irritated that he's still lying about it.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely.
And maybe even more so that he's still lying.
And I think a lot of people are irritated about this because this issue, this race agenda, this racism agenda that they are pushing, that's a big problem, and it's causing a lot of problems. So for him to play into it and actually play into what the media is trying to push and try to demonstrate that what the media is saying is real, that makes everything worse.
Hey, what's with the Orange City and nobody having any mufflers around here?
Yeah, I know. That sounded like a four-door Toro sedan.
So irritating. I love it. Did you have that made?
Mm-hmm.
You did? Made it. Yeah. So, you guys came from Washington State? You know, over your camera? Came from... You don't mind? So you guys moved here from Washington State how long ago?
Hun, was it a month and a half, 2 months ago?
In August.
And you came to Florida because we're free, and you left Washington State specifically because of the tyranny going on there?
Partly that, and then partly the grandchildren.
Yeah.
So your grandkids live here. You were ready to leave because of the tyranny?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thought it would be nice to live next to the grandkids, and you moved to Florida.
Good jump start to get out of there.
How do you like it so far? You only been here a month and a half.
Oh, I love it.
You do?
Love it. Now the summer, it might be a little harder.
You haven't been here in a Florida summer, have you? It's
no,
brutal.
we visited once and it was like, oh, this is a little
It's like
bit.
living in the pizza oven for 8 months. Yeah, and this is winter right now, and it's like, it's got to be pushing 80 degrees today. Middle of December, and it's 80 degrees. Jussie Smollet could be found, has been found guilty. He's going to be sentenced in a couple weeks, and he could serve 20 years in prison if they throw the max at him.
That's awesome. That's wonderful.
How much you think he should do the whole 20?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have no problem with that.
We're hardcore over here today.
No, he should pay for all that lying.
Are you mad? How mad are you that he lied all the way through it and stuck to his lie?
Just makes me feel bad for him as a person, an individual. People who have to live their lives like that, that's a terrible way to live.
Yeah. He is a completely dishonest person.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of hard to feel
So
sorry for
that
someone
needs
like
to not be tolerated at all.
Teach him a lesson.
Well,
teach other people
I do
a
believe
lesson
in
too.
forgiveness, though, because we all have blown it in different ways. But not acknowledging the wrong you've done, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I think you need to acknowledge if you've done wrong.
Yeah. I think that's what people want the most out of this.
That's what
not even so much watching him do or having him do serve time. It's
just acknowledge.
Acknowledge what you did and apologize.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Jussie Smollett's gonna get convicted, not convicted. What do you call it? Sentenced.
Yes. You need to go
Next
to jail.
in 2 weeks. Did I already ask you that? How much time should he serve? Because he's facing 20 years.
Well, he should face at least 10.
Okay.
Or do at least 10.
If he got 20 years, would you think that's harsh?
No.
He should get 20 years?
Yeah. What he did, trying to, divide this country with, hate, black on white hate.
Yeah. Well, if Jussie Smollett got a year for every lie, he'd be in prison for life.
Yeah.
Hey, Smollett could face up to 20 years in prison. He's going to get sentenced in a couple weeks. How much time do you think he deserves?
Well, I don't know that he deserves 20, although what he did could have started a race war. So I just hope that he gets, let's say, a significant sentence, enough to deter people from trying to do that stuff again.
Yeah, it'll be a deterrent too, won't it?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So if he gets 20 years, I'm thinking that's super harsh.
Yeah, that's pretty harsh.
Personally, I don't want to see him do 20.
Yeah.
But everybody I talk to pretty much wants him to do 20.
Yeah. He did it as a stunt. He's an actor. I don't think he really thinks out of the box. I don't think he understood really how dangerous it could have been. And it still was. I mean, let's face it, there's still a lot of people out there that only get their news from one place, and they still think that actually happened, and it didn't.
Yeah. Well, people are just as irritated that he lied all the way through the trial.
Oh, yeah.
They're just as irritated at that as they are for him trying to pull off a hate crime hoax.
And I'm hoping this will cause people like Don Lemon and even Kamala Harris to pull their punches a little bit, because they're always on the wrong side of these issues. And let's face it, it's really creating so much division in this country. It hurts me, honestly, because I've never discriminated against anybody in my life, Jeff. God is my witness.
Hey, the next lefty to take the stand and lie all the way through it will be Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, well.
So Smollett will be sentenced in a couple weeks, and if they throw the book at him, he'll be in prison for 20 years.
Good.
You think that's good?
Good.
20 years for what he did?
I'll send a message out. He'll get paroled in 3 years. So,
that's true. If they sentence you, and if you're good in prison,
he'll be great
and don't
in
drop
prison.
the soap, then they'll let you out early.
Maybe he'll love it and he'll stay there. You know?
Oh yeah, he might like it there.
Yeah, he might like it.
Find
there,
a lot of girlfriends in that
Yeah,
place.
a lot of girlfriends and get married a couple times.
Thanksgiving, keep it in perspective.
Follow Mike Nificent on YouTube. Do it.
Do it.
Marie. How much time should Jussie Smollett serve in order for there to be actual justice?
Let's do...
He's facing 20 years if they throw the book at him.
I know, but I think 2 years.
Yeah. I wouldn't be upset if he did 2 years.
Yeah.
2 full years.
Yeah.
1 year for a hate hoax, and then 1 year for lying through your teeth all the way through your trial.
Yeah, I would do 2 years.
Yeah. I'd be good with that.
Yeah. I'm not 20 years.
No way.
I mean, my
Oh,
gosh.
okay.
People kill people and don't even get that.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people out here, but it's fresh in everybody's minds, and they're all pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
So pretty much everybody out here said 20 years. Give it to them, 20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
not really on board with it. No. I want it to be somewhat painful. I don't want to completely ruin the guy, even though he's a turd.
Let's make a point, you know, but don't, ruin the guy's rest of his life.
Yeah. Jussie Smollett could get 20 years in prison. We're going to find out in 2 weeks when he's sentenced. If he gets 20 years, do you think that's too harsh?
No.
Really?
No, yes, it is. It's a little harsh.
What do you think is a good amount of time?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, 5.
I'd be
The
down.
city
5 years.
spent $12 million.
If Jussie Smollett goes to prison, is that really punishment for him, for a guy like him?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Think of all the girlfriends we'll have in there prison.
He might actually enjoy that. He might actually enjoy his time in
Yeah.
prison.
Candy store.
If he were to go.
If
I
he
don't
were to
think
go.
will.
You don't think he's going to do any time?
I don't think he'll do it for the road.
He's guilty of a hate crime on himself.
Yeah, and you know what I think the big thing was probably for the jury was when they saw the video of the dry run the day before. He practiced it, and they saw that.
Yeah.
Now I wish there was cameras in the courtroom. I wish there was cameras so that we could see.
Weird how they had the cameras on Kyle Rittenhouse trial, but not the
Why not Jussie?
Jussie hoaxer Smollett trial. Yeah.